Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Cottoning On. My name is Lorna, this is Cottoning On, and this is episode 2 of my crafting podcast. I'm a dressmaker, I'm a cross stitcher, I'm a knitter and sometimes crocheter, and I also have a Cricut, but I'm still learning how to use that at the moment. It's a little bit intimidating. So each episode I'm going to be sharing the things that I have been making and how I'm getting on with my fabric challenge, and also the inspiration that I've been seeing all around me. So it might be things that I've bought, it might be things that I've seen online, it might be reflections on things that I've made, but just how I'm feeling inspired at the moment. So with all that in mind, let's have a look at what I've been working on since the last episode. I'm ready to talk about my projects now. I've got a cup of tea. I've also got a new camera set up this time after the disaster of last time, so let's hope things are in focus and I'm looking in the right place. So active projects, things that I've been working on. They're all over here. I've got a new setup this week, new location. Over here is where I keep my sewing machines and everything is just kind of piled up. It's a bit of a disaster. So things that I've been working on since the last time I did a video. Let's start with this. So my Harlow hat, which I think I did show last time, this was what I was making with the leftovers of my outstanding shawl. So I have made some progress, you can see. It's 2-colour brioche. So I have made some progress. I haven't made loads of progress. I did quite a bit of this last week during the Jubilee weekend while my partner was working, and I've basically finished the brim of the hat. All of what you can see was knitted on 2.75mm needles, and I've just done the round where I've swapped to, I think these are 3.25mm needles, so you have to go up a needle size for like the top bit the top bit of the hat. So I have done that. Now I think I said last time that the not bind, tubular cast on was quite tricky, but now that I'm kind of into the rhythm of doing the brioche stitch, that actually it's quite a mindless project. It's something that I could do like while I'm watching the telly. There's no counting at this point. You've just got to knit until it reaches a certain length. I do want to start another more challenging brioche project, but I'm trying to tell myself to hang on because this has literally just been knitting round and round, and I want to know how to do increases and decreases properly before I start trying to apply these skills to something else. So that is my Harlow hat. I'm also not feeling very motivated because it's the wrong season. It is finally feeling like summer here in England, so I haven't been as motivated with that at the moment. But that is my Harlow hat where I have made some progress. So that's project number 1. Project number 2, I am going to point out here that this is a lot of ongoing projects at the moment because I have just had a week off work, so I had a lot more time than usual to work on my projects. So number 2 is my sock from following my Perfect Fit sock. I have finished the foot rows. Come into focus? Yeah. I've finished the foot rows and I have cut my yarn tail, and now I need to use my contrast neon yellow that I think I talked about last time, feeling awful and hoping it's going to soften. Yes, I did. I now just need to finish the toe of this, and this is sock number 1. It is the Crazy Sock Ladies summer sock camp at the moment, and I was hoping to get the pair of socks finished so that I could cast a pair on for summer sock camp and then cast another pair on for the Loving Stitches Shark Week sock week in July. But if I'm being really honest, that I knit my initial pair of Perfect Fit socks as I was following the course throughout March and April. Then I knit a pair of socks for my partner following Perfect Fit socks as soon as I finished my own pair, and then I've cast this on, and I'm not bored of socks, but I feel like I just need to do something a bit different. Also, I did twisted rib for this, and I'm a bit disappointed with myself because you can see here where I've used magic loop. It's not very tidy, and also it isn't very stretchy. It was really hard to focus. Come on, don't look at me. Here we go. It doesn't stretch as much as normal ribbing, so I feel like that's kind of put me off. Doing the second sock, it took me ages as well to do that. So I have finished the foot rows, but I'm not feeling very motivated with this sock at the moment. So that was project number 2. Hopefully, I just need to motivate myself. I need to take it out and about with me. I just need to get on with it. So that's project number 2. Number 3, I'm just going to have a sip of my tea. Number 3, I've actually done some dressmaking. I haven't done any for ages. I haven't finished. The last time I did some dressmaking was during my Easter break, when I made a dress to take on holiday with me. So working on at the moment, this is what it looks like. I'm making a linden sweater by, I think, is it Grain Line? I think so. A linden sweater using this floral fabric that, oh, I can't remember where it was from. It's gone. But I have essentially sewn the raglan shoulder seams. The next step is going to be doing the arm seams and the side seams, and then they're going to have, it's going to have, it would be better to show you this side, wouldn't it, rather than the French terry side. But it's going to have, oh, it looks lovely on camera, yellow ribbing. I bought some special ribbing fabric, so yellow here for the cuffs and for the bottom. So that's currently on my sewing table. Just put that one back out of the way. Then I decided for half term I was going to be on a bit of a crochet kick. I've seen a lot of people making scrappy blankets, using their scraps obviously, but I had some colours of Starcraft Special DK yarn that I'd bought to make some granny square cushion covers during the January lockdown last year, not the first lockdown, and that yarn sat under my sofa until last week, where I decided, you know what, I'm never going to make granny squares. I'm going to try and make a granny stripe blanket. So that's what I did. So this is what I've done. It is quite big. So this was the foundation chain here. This is Shrimp, the colour along here. And I chained 210 plus, I think it was plus 2. So I think I chained 212 here. And I made a rookie error. I didn't go up a hook size, so it is a bit, it's hard to show you because of the camera, but it is a bit kind of smaller at that end. I can feel it's tight because I should have gone up a hook size. But it's essentially just a repeating stripe of these colours. So here, if I can hold it, we've got Shrimp, Aspen, whoops, Fiesta, Sunshine and Magenta. And I'm just repeating those granny clusters all the way along. So in classic Lorna fashion, I had one ball of each colour, and thought, yeah, that'll be enough. And because I chained so many to start with, because I'm a bit of a rookie crocheter, I have run out, and it's not very big. So classic Lorna, had to buy 2 more balls of each colour. Luckily it is only Stylecraft, and Stylecraft is budget yarn here. So this is how far I got over half term. I was trying to do the colour repeat every 2 days while I was off, and I've been trying to weave in ends as I go. You can see I've woven some in, but there's some here that I still need to do. Yes, so I've started that, and I had to pause earlier this week, probably Tuesday, because I'd run out of aspen, so I couldn't carry on. But that's coming. I finished that just right yesterday. So that we've christened this the Tropicana blanket, and I've set myself a deadline of the end of June to finish this. But that now seems a little bit ambitious, given that I've had to order extra yarn to make it the length that I want it to be. So never mind, it will be beautiful when it's finished. It's just a shame it's not the budget item that I thought it was going to be, using things that I'd already got. The final active project is another crochet project. Because the basic tutorial that I was using for crochet was from the Attic 24 blog, I made the mistake of perusing the other projects that are on there, and accidentally ordered a yarn pack, again Stylecraft double knitting, and have started the Dahlia blanket. It's a crochet spike stitch, so it's treble crochet. I'm using UK terms. It's treble crochet with a spike stitch, and I'm following the colour wash. Now on the camera it's made it look really bright, but in real life it is more of a kind of subtle transition. So these colours are claret and lipstick, and they repeat, and then you're going to bring in another colour, so it'll be a beautiful colour wash inspired by dahlia flowers. I made a swatch earlier this week to practice the stitch and the tension and everything. Used a smaller hook because I am aware that my tension is a bit iffy because I'm not very experienced, and that came out too small. I used a 3.5mm hook and it came out too small. Stylecraft themselves recommend a 4mm hook or knitting needle. So I decided to go back up to a 4mm when I started this, and this time I did go up a hook size. I think I used a 5 to do the foundation chain, which made it so much easier, and marked all of the marked every 20 stitches to make sure that I got the right amount, because I was chaining 195. But I think actually in hindsight I probably should have stuck with the 3.5mm hook and try to loosen my tension a little bit rather than go up a hook size, because each stripe is meant to take about 11 grams of yarn and I'm using 12.5, so hopefully I will have enough. It's not massively out, but this is 10 centimeters longer than it is meant to be, wider than it's meant to be. But I have really enjoyed doing it, because I do feel like my crochet has been limited to kind of like granny squares, and obviously I made some float totes using double crochet, but it was nice to try and use it in a different way, and this kind of colour wash appeals to me a lot. Those are the projects I've been working on since the last episode of the podcast. The final thing is a finished item, and I'm wearing it. You might remember if you watched episode 1 that I had found this half finished Colette Patterns Metre dress in the naughty box, and decided over half term that I was going to fix it. And when it came to fixing it, all I needed to do was gather the elastic, which is why I'd stopped last time. And when I looked further, I did unpick part of this neckline and restitch it, and it needed to be sewn together and hemmed, and that was about it. It is this vivid in real life. So you can see I've got the elasticated, I did manage to do the elasticated waist. It really is this vivid in real life. I did still have trouble with my sewing machine actually, so if anybody else is having trouble gathering their skirt with clear elastic, like swimwear elastic, what I did was I used a zigzag stitch, I used my walking foot, and I used my right hand to guide it through the feed dogs, and then I used my left hand to pull it out of the back just to create a bit more tension because it was getting bunched up under the walking foot and not feeding through. So it's not exactly it's not my neatest sewing job on the inside, but I'm just pleased that actually it's finished. This fabric, which was from Amsterdam 3 years ago, that it's not gone to waste. I'm just really pleased that it's finished. Not everything's going to be perfect inside, but it's wearable. It's a lovely colour. You can see it matches my watch. Yeah, it's just a really lovely fabric, and I'm pleased that 3 years on that I have a wearable garment. Right, let's talk fabric challenge. Right, I've just had a sip of my tea, ready for fabric challenge. There's not an awful lot to report on the fabric challenge this time. I haven't bought any more fabric, I haven't used any more fabric because the sweatshirt that I showed you in this, they were already cut out. So the idea of this challenge is to use 30 meters before buying loads more fabric. And I started this on January the 1st. I have used 8.5 meters and I've only bought 2 meters. So I've only gone up by 2 meters, so I suppose that's like 6.5 meters. But I've used 8.5 meters and I'm only counting things that have been cut out. So I haven't cut out any more projects. I have sewn up one that was cut out, but that's already counted in those 8.5 meters. Obviously I finished this, but that didn't count because I cut it out ages ago. I did think to myself over half term that I would really like to make another Maya Sotis dress by Deer and Doe Patterns. The one that I made is made out of, it's a crepe fabric, so it was quite shifty. But it is a little bit short, so if I want to wear it to work, I always have to wear leggings or tights with it because it's quite short. So I would like to make one. I just made the straight up, there were no frills, the sleeves were plain, the skirt was plain. So I would like to make one with the skirt frill. And I've got some Lady McElroy fabric, which is 3 meters of fabric. So I would like to try and make one of those before I go on holiday in August. So that would be 3 meters out of stash. And I'm also thinking I'd like to make another pair of carry trousers out of some viscose that I bought from Barry's about 6 years ago. Honestly, it's been in there forever. I'm not sure how big that is, either 2 or 2.5 meters. So I'd be looking at kind of using another 5 meters there if I just made those 2 projects. So that would be good. But nothing has gone into stash, nothing has come out of my fabric stash. So we're still at 8.5 meters since the 1st of January, which, let's be honest, is a win. So I have 2 things to share with you for Inspiration Corner this time. I've been really getting into stitch markers, and I'm thinking that like other people who do knitting and crochet podcasts, it would be really useful to mark where I am when I film an episode, so then I can see next time just exactly how much I have made since the previous episode. So I've obviously got basics, that you've got some plastic ones, I've got light bulb stitch markers, but I thought I would treat myself to some progress keepers. First, I've got 2 sets of stitch markers that I bought on Etsy. I have ordered some other ones, but they haven't come yet. So this one was from Alice R Crafts on Etsy. And I tagged the maker of these on Instagram when I received them and got a really lovely message back, which was nice. So these, I chose to buy them on, I think they're called lever back clasps, these ones. Because I find the lobster ones a bit hard to manipulate. And you might have seen there, these are all fruit. I think it was you could buy so many. You could buy 10, you could buy 1. So I bought a set of 6. And they are made, I think they're made of Fimo. But look at them, they're so cute. I really like the strawberry on the end and the orange is cool as well. They are all really cool, but I think the strawberry on the end here might be my absolute favourite of those. So they're really cool. So that's one set of stitch markers. And then these ones I just couldn't resist because I love toast and I love peanut butter. These were from Crafty Little Bear on Etsy as well. These are also on lever back clasps and they're just so cute. I'm trying to, yeah. So it's some toast and a jar of peanut butter. So cute. Yeah, this one's got a mark on the back, but they are really cute. And the little peanut on the jar, oh my goodness, it's just too cute. So that was from a Crafty Little Bear. You can see that on the tag that came with it. Okay, so like I say, I will share the set of stitch markers next time that haven't come, that they're still in the post. I'm hoping to have a couple of other things to show you as well that I bought for Sock Week. So the final thing that I want to share for Inspiration Corner was my reflections on Me Made May. So Me Made May is an Instagram challenge, or it's not a photo challenge, it's getting you to assess your relationship with your handmade wardrobe, and you can post photos if you want to, or you don't have to. It's just about your relationship with what you make. So I decided that I would share, I'd try and wear something that I've made almost every day, or as best as I could, and that I decided to post them on stories with a weekly roundup. So I think that I learned that I have an awful lot of handmade dresses, not so many pairs of handmade trousers, and also a lot of my handmade stuff is kind of more, not formal is the wrong word, but more kind of dressy. So on days when like weekend days when I wasn't necessarily going out, a lot of my kind of more I either had like dresses or culottes, those kinds of things, or I had pyjama bottoms to wear around the house. But then sometimes you get in that mindset, don't you, that if you don't get dressed properly, then you kind of go all sloth-like and you just don't feel very motivated. I don't feel, if I don't get dressed properly, I don't feel very motivated. And I feel like I've got a gap in the middle of casual things. But then I did start to think to myself, do I actually need those handmade things? Like, I have a lot of pairs of ready-to-wear shorts and jogging bottoms and things, and actually I think I'm better off making things that I want to make, that I enjoy making, rather than saying, right, I've got to make, rather than making more casual things to wear. So I think I haven't really felt like sewing a lot recently, so certainly for this year I'm just going to make whatever I feel like making, whether that's seasonally appropriate or not, and just kind of bear in mind that I have got a lot of dresses, but also I need to think about my fabric stash and think, do I still like everything that I've got, and can I make the things that I want to make with the fabric that I have? And if I don't, I think I need to have a look at why. What is it that puts me off from buying those fabrics? I also did try to wear some of the things that I've knitted. With the weather getting warmer, it's become more tricky because a lot of the things that I have knitted have been more kind of winter garments, and now that the weather is quite warm, like today, I'm not going to be wearing anything that I've knitted. I'm not even going to be wearing socks, let's be honest, because it's just so warm. So I think going forward, I know that I just need to make the things that I enjoy making in patterns. I'm not a dark clothes kind of person. I need to make the things I enjoy making in fabrics that I enjoy, and I think I need to review, when I have some time, review what fabric that I do have and think, am I going to make it, and if not, why not, and look at ways that I can pass that on to someone who might use it. I did really enjoy trying to wear handmade every day, and it pleased me a lot, and I got a lot of people at work saying, oh, did you make that? And it always amazes me when people say, you're so clever. And I always say, it's not about intelligence, it's just about following the pattern. Like, there's so many, you know, it's not like you've got to use McCall's or, you know, with really kind of sparse instructions anymore. That you know, all these independent pattern designers, they do such detailed instructions. That's how I taught myself. Like, I didn't I haven't had classes, I haven't been sewing since I was young. It's not like I've learnt from someone in my family. That I've just taught myself, and actually it's buying the right patterns. I honestly think anyone can teach themselves with YouTube and online classes and things. I honestly think anyone can teach themselves how to dressmake, how to knit, how to crochet. That's exactly how I've done it. Although with knitting I have had a bit of help from family. My mum is a prolific knitter as well, but most of it is about putting yourself out there and just having a go. My mantra for the last couple of years has been, it's just fabric, it's just yarn. That if things go wrong, you're always going to learn something from it. Can you tell I'm on my long run here for a run? That yeah, it's just fabric. Like, if something goes wrong, you'll still learn from it. Yes, I know that doesn't fit with sustainability, but you know, the most sustainable fabric surely is the fabric that you've got. And if it's sitting in a box like I've got over here, then it's been bought, it's been manufactured, and it's just taking up space. So if you're debating about whether to dressmake, just go for it. Just do it. Like, you will learn so much. That's exactly how I did it. I wore things that probably should never have seen the light of day when I first made them, just because I knew that I'd made them. So me made May. My lessons are, make what you want to make, wear what you want to wear. Don't worry about what anybody else says, because it's your life. Oh, this turned into a rant that I wasn't expecting. Yeah, just go for it. Just wear what you want to wear. Life is too short to wear boring clothes. Well, I didn't realise I was going to get so philosophical in this episode. What a rant. Oh dear. Sorry about that. Maybe you enjoyed it. Let me know. Anyway, that is all for episode 2. Episode 3 will be out in a few weeks. I've got some other videos planned in the meantime. But yes, happy dressmaking, happy knitting, happy crochet. I will see you next time. Bye!